Swadikap, and good afternoon once again. Today is Thursday, the 1st of July, 2021, and this is the English language summary of the daily press briefing here at the Center for COVID Situation Administration, or CCSA, as always. Now, it's the first day of July, and of course, the first day of the launch of the Phuket Sandbox, the scheme, as you know, hoping that goes well. So before proceeding with the regular briefing that I have today, I'd just like to share with you a couple of personal stories, perhaps. So firstly is about the Phuket Sandbox. Now, I have some friends who are journalists, actually, who actually visited Phuket this week, waiting for the launching of the Sandbox. And as you know, the Prime Minister is visiting Phuket today, this morning as well. Now, some of my journalist friends had visited Phuket and found that a lot of things are in order. A lot of the doubts or comments are actually mostly found on social media, but on the ground, things are actually going into place, and let's hope that all of this will be continued in the weeks and months ahead for Phuket as the pilot project to for other provinces to follow suit. Now, some of my friends who went there, they took pictures. They have observed that the restaurants, the people there are ready to receive tourists and guests. It may start with a small number first, but eventually the number will increase. And those pictures shared with me gave me a sort of a sense of satisfaction that all of our efforts for this province, for Phuket, are being seen, and just hoping that the local people will continue to be with open arms and receive tourists in the days ahead. Now, the second personal story I'd just like to share briefly is that, of course, during this time of COVID, sometimes when we want to meet friends, when we have appointments or arrangements for friends to come in to Bangkok, for example, to meet, to engage with each other or any other activity, sometimes we have to sacrifice. Now, just a personal note that there are some friends of mine who wanted to come to Bangkok to engage in certain activities, meet and all those things, but of course with the worry that families have, parents have for their children, this is something that we have to sacrifice. So issues like this have to be understood at this time and age. So my friends who wanted to come from Pak Chong in the provinces to Bangkok, and their parents were kind of worried that coming to Bangkok at this time might not be a suitable time, but that's fine. We can postpone all of these things. It's a sacrifice, it's a dedication that we must understand. And of course, the most important thing is to keep parents and the elderly people at home to feel at ease and feel comfortable, and not be too worried about the travels of the other people in the family, children, nieces or nephews, in coming into certain congested areas, or so to say, even Bangkok these days, which is the hotspot for COVID these days. So it's something that we really have to understand. So for my friend going to Phuket and for my friend coming in from Pak Chong to Bangkok, let's hope for the better. Hope that the coming days and weeks will be better, and that we'll be able to visit provinces without any worry, and friends from other provinces will be able to visit Bangkok without any worry. So hoping that this will work out with all of your help. So with that, I'd like to start off first with the vaccination progress that we have recorded for today. So yesterday, the 30th of June, we have already administered a total of 9,927,698 doses of COVID vaccines. So that's 9.9 million doses. Out of this number, we have 7.1 million persons who have received their first dose, and we have 2.8 million persons who have received their second dose. Now, about the vaccines, 70% of those residing in Phuket have received their first dose of vaccine already, and 56% already received their second dose. So that's quite a high number for vaccination in Phuket. Moderna vaccine now has become the second paid alternative vaccine after Sinopharm. And the government pharmaceutical organization in a statement said that 3.9 million doses of the Moderna vaccine would be delivered in the fourth quarter and 1.1 million doses in the first quarter of 2022. And according to Thailand's Private Hospitals Association, Moderna 2-dose vaccine package, this will be priced at around 3,400 baht or 1,700 baht per shot, with payments for bookings made to be collected from the 1st of July. Meanwhile, the Department of Health Service Support issued a warning about a fake agency allegedly to have swindled money by taking pre-orders for the Moderna vaccine that it had no intention of fulfilling. So we have to be wary, be aware of that as well. So let's look at now at the figures for today. New confirmed case, we have 5,533 cases, making the cumulative total setting at over 264,000, as you see on screen. The active cases still being treated at the moment is 52,052, 52052. You see that in the green box on top. And out of this number, we have 1,971 as being in critical condition, and out of this 561 on ventilators. New recoveries, we have 3,223. You may notice that the new recoveries is a little bit lower than the new confirmed cases, but not very much lower as in the past few days. So we have increasingly more new recoveries. 3,223 new recoveries recorded. Unfortunately, we have 57 new fatalities, making the cumulative fatalities in Thailand now at 2,080. For the overall situation in terms of the provincial distribution, on screen we'll have coming up soon a slide on the provinces. So we have Bangkok with the highest number at 1,960 cases, followed by Samut Prakan at 435, and then Pathum Thani and other provinces, Samut Sakhon, Songkhla, Chonburi, Nakhon Pathom, Nonthaburi, Pattani, and Yala as the other provinces down the list. Now, a little bit more about the Phuket Sandbox scheme. As we mentioned in yesterday's English language summary, today, of course, is a big day for the tourism industry as the official opening of one of our foremost travel destination. I'm talking about Phuket, of course. Opening its doors fully to vaccinated travelers, both local and international. And today, the Prime Minister Prayut Chan-o-cha, is on his one-day field visit to Phuket province to observe the launching of the scheme. So he will also share the opening of the Hug Thai Hug Phuket scheme under the Hug Thai scheme at the Central Phuket department store and visit the Siri Naat National Park before returning to Bangkok on the same day. And coming up, you'll have some images of the visit this morning, which, of course, we hope that this is the first day with all the encouragement that we receive from you. Of course, it will not come without any flaws or hiccups or obstacles, but we hope that this is a very good launch, a very good encouraging sign of the opening up of the country, so that the tourism industry in Thailand will not be affected as much as in the past year. And of course, all of us here at the CCSA would also like to extend our warmest congratulations to the local officials in Phuket and in the various different agencies who have cooperated, working tirelessly around the clock actually for months to make it possible to welcome back foreign visitors on our soil in terms of actual tourists. So we also have on screen some representatives of the Department of the Consular Affairs of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs there in Phuket, attending meetings with relevant agencies, line agencies local agencies in Phuket and double checking the final details to ensure the seamless synchronization of measures to facilitate international travelers back to Phuket. If you recall, yesterday the Thai embassies around the world received over 5,000 applications for the Sandbox, and yesterday, as of yesterday morning, around 500 plus were approved already, and the numbers of course will increase on the second day, on the third day, and on the other days ahead. And there you have some images there. We will of course be updating you on the various updates of Phuket as the days go by. And Dr. Apisamai in the Thai language briefing just now also mentioned about the contingency plan already, which I have mentioned in the past last week, I believe, about the contingency plan that if something goes wrong in Phuket, there will be remedies. If the number of infections rise in the 3 districts and over 6 villages, for example, or if the hospital bed capacity in Phuket starts to rise, we will reconsider and make improvements to this pilot scheme. Yes, and we have some information there, courtesy of the Bangkok Post. So the digital form, I'd like to talk a little bit about the digital form for those leaving Bangkok. So a digital type of travel declaration form has been introduced for people traveling out of Bangkok. As the introduction of more stringent public health measures become necessary to stem COVID, this additional measure has been introduced in addition to the temporary closure of construction camps, the take-home only restaurant option for restaurants, and other public health measures. So people looking to travel out of Bangkok are requested to fill out and submit this declaration simply by scanning the QR code as shown on screen right now. And this infographic is courtesy of the NBT station in English. And everyone traveling out of Bangkok now kindly requested to scan this QR code you see on screen at checkpoints using their smartphone to fill out and submit electronic travel declaration. The digital form requires travelers to supply personal information such as the name, identification number, document number, mobile phone, etc. And travelers will be asked about their purpose of travel, the necessity, whether they will be returning to Bangkok after the trip or not. After submission, travelers need to show this form to officials at screening checkpoints. Information provided will only be used for the sole purpose of public health. And several road checkpoints have also been set up in Bangkok to prevent the movement of the workers group in particular from the workers camp inside the capital, as large-scale construction sites are now subject to temporary closure of 30 days. So once again, we've mentioned these checkpoints can be found, for example, along Wipawadi Rangsit Road in front of the Don Mueang Railway Station, on Suwintawong Road under the Mahanakhon intersection overpass, or Bang Natrat Road in front of the Bangchak petrol station, on Baroma Ratchachonani, and other areas. So these are just some examples of the measures that have been put in place currently. Now I believe that the digital form will be of use because many of the English language audience here have been wondering about the travels going to the different provinces at the moment. Now, of course, please be sure to check with the information from the local authorities as well of the provinces that you are traveling to, and mind you that you will be returning to Bangkok as well if you are in Bangkok. And this of course applies to inter-provincial travel as well. You have to check with the destination province which you will be going to, and of course making use of this digital declaration that we have on screen for you. So just in closing for today, the spokesperson mentioned yesterday that currently, Thailand and globally, we are facing a lot of emotional fatigue because of the pandemic, and it's been over a year now. And I'll leave you today with just some tips from the World Health Organization on how to better take care of emotional well-being. So the WHO recommends that you take time each day to do things you enjoy and to stay connected with those around you, including keeping in touch with people that you care about in different modes, in different ways. It may be digitally on social media, by telephone call, a simple old-fashioned telephone call, thinking about what you can do for other people to help them in this time of need, as well as reaching out to trusted persons or health workers if you need help. So with that, I'd like to close off for today. For tomorrow, we'll have Director Pen Som, my colleague from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, will be back with her English language summary in my place for the daily press briefing tomorrow. And meanwhile, please stay safe, please stay healthy, and have a wonderful Friday, Saturday, and Sunday ahead. Thank you for your attention. สวัสดีครับ